Okay, we are talking movies. I'm Cakes. With me today is
Blake.
Swank here.
Missy.
Missy. First timer today. Thanks.
First girler.
First girler, yes. Thanks for joining us, Missy. Let's go around the room. Last movie you saw. I guess I can start. Carnage. I watched the movie Carnage this weekend. Just a little four-person kind of a short. It's only 80 minutes. Just about this one kid beats up this other kid in school, and the parents get together to try to hash it out, and hash it out they do. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Probably one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. I just love the whole confrontation of it. It reminded me a little bit of a movie called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but not nearly as scary or depressing. But it also had a nice comedy element. I found myself laughing, especially at John C. Reilly. Jodie Foster was great. I absolutely hated her the entire movie, and I think that was kind of the point. But yeah, it was a great movie, and like you said, there's certain points in that movie where if you haven't seen it yet, you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch it. When this couple can just get up and leave. They can leave at any moment, but they just don't because I don't know, just pride gets in the way or whatever. But yeah, it's a very interesting study and great movie with just four people essentially in it. So Blake, what did you see last?
The last movie I watched was actually Killer Joe. It's William Friedkin's newest movie. He's done The Exorcist and The French Connection and a bunch of other classic movies. It's about the most redneck trailer park trash family you're ever gonna see outside of a comedy, and basically one of them gets into some money problems with this local drug dealer, and so he decides that his family needs to kill the mom to collect her insurance policy, and they hired this detective who moonlights as a serial killer to kill their mother to collect this insurance policy. Problems arise when
as they always do.
They do when Joe asks for money up front, which they obviously do not have, and Killer Joe takes a liking to the family's teenage daughter, and
Great agreement.
Things go awry from there, as you can imagine, but
fantastic performances.
You're not going to see a more crazier final half hour to a movie this year, I think.
Is that Matthew McConaughey?
And it's Matthew McConaughey.
One of his best roles.
His best performance that I've seen. Better than anything.
Better than failing to launch.
Yeah.
Super dude.
So I highly recommend it. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Fair warning, though, I've heard it's a little bit graphic.
It's NC-17.
It's NC-17. So. I don't think it's warranted, but there is some stuff that's most definitely not for younger people.
Oh yeah.
So if you have kids and you're
or
watching
the weak
it,
at heart.
Yeah.
If you're watching
weak at heart,
yeah.
Or women, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen.
Extremely
He
offensive.
does have a scene with no clothes on. So.
He does bear it all.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so women shouldn't see that. Go on.
Swank.
Oh, that was the last movie that I saw too. I would recommend it, but yeah, not for the weak of heart, for sure.
Not a family film, watch with grandma type of thing?
No.
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 Missy?
I can't decide if I say The Master was my last movie that I saw or Ferris Bueller's Day Off I just watched last night. And it wasn't the first time, but anyways, I want to talk about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I'd seen it forever ago and never really watched it through and through until last night. It was hilarious, and I understand why it's a classic. And John Hughes.
Yeah, probably the reason I still sing in the shower. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Beatles drops and stuff. I Could Be the Walrus. Yeah. It's certainly a pretty good movie.
It's the ultimate skipping school movie, I'd say.
Yeah,
That's
and
for sure.
certainly a movie that every youth can relate to. And I guess it's almost kind of timeless when you think about it.
It is.
Just because of that aspect.
Same issues we have these days. So
Sure.
Yeah. Made in '86.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
that's crazy. Another movie I saw recently was Midnight in Paris, and I thought we'd kind of parlay our talk about relationship movies. We're going to talk about relationship movies this morning. That was certainly an interesting film. The gist of it, a little bit of a spoiler alert, but Owen Wilson is in Paris with his soon-to-be wife, and at the stroke of midnight, he gets into a car and goes back into the future and spends the overnight with all these world-famous artists. And it's just kind of I don't know if you want to call it a coming-of-age kind of slash romance, but it's just kind of like he just kind of grows through the movie as a writer and kind of realizes what he wants in life. And
it's a coming of realization, I think.
Yeah, and I guess it's not necessarily
he's like 40.
It's not necessarily a relationship movie with him and his future fiance. It's more of him kind of developing other relationships with other people and kind of maybe
an interpersonal.
Yeah, and maybe him kind of falling in love with some fake people that he wants his girlfriend to be like. I don't know. But anyway, I pulled a list offline this morning. Top 5 relationship movies guys should watch.
Should watch.
That's what it was called. Coincidentally, the first 2 have 5 in the title. 500 Days of Summer. I haven't seen that one. Anybody here?
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Good relationship movie. Is that kind of a younger person relationship type of movie? Is that right?
Immature, I would say, like, just the fact that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is striving to get Zooey Deschanel, and she just isn't ready to be with him, and she doesn't want to be with him. And he's just pining after her the whole time, and you feel really bad, but I don't know.
Okay. The next one on the list was 50 First Dates. Has anybody seen that? Adam Sandler.
I have seen that.
Yeah.
Speaking of walruses.
Yeah.
Definitely not a should movie, but
Yeah.
you
probably will.
You could do worse in his film
Yeah.
canon.
If you have to watch a movie with your whole family.
You could watch something he made after that. But anyway, I didn't mind 50 First Dates. I thought it was good. You know, it's kind of Drew Barrymore's character in that movie has amnesia, so she wakes up every morning and still thinks it's the same day. And it's kind of an interesting movie about how, you know, if you make different decisions, you know, your life can turn out differently, that type of thing.
It's just a clever title.
Yeah, it's not just a Garden State was the other one. I was kind of surprised that was on the list. I don't think about that when I think of strong, like, relationship building movies. I mean, there is certainly a relationship involved.
That movie hit me at the perfect time in my life.
Yeah, me too.
I was, 15 years old, and I watched the hell out of it, and I was probably even younger than that, but anyways, love that movie.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. I wasn't 15, obviously, but it certainly hit me. That was kind of one of those movies, like, I don't know if I've ever watched a movie where, like, that movie is really awesome, but I don't know if I can watch it again. I just don't I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't really have a desire to watch it again. Just because, I mean, it's kind of some hard subjects there, you know, like his relationship with his parents and stuff. And, you know, the relationship between Zach Braff and Natalie Portman is certainly endearing, but it's, you know, I think the movie's so much more than that. That's kind of why I was surprised it was on this list.
The movie for me, I guess, has a lesser impact every time I watch it.
Totally.
I really enjoyed it the first time you and I went and saw it years ago. But I don't think I've seen it in 5 or 6 years, and I think if anything, a lot of people related to the soundtrack more than the actual movie. It has a good soundtrack. But I personally, I don't know if I could watch it again either.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of one of those. It's not your fairy tale relationship comedy, you know, romantic comedy type of movie, just because it's not necessarily happy throughout the movie, you know.
They've got great chemistry, Zach Braff, Natalie Portman.
Yeah, and isn't that his directorial debut too, Zach Braff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. And I think that it's his relationship with the outside world. I mean, he's coming off medication, and I mean, he's like in the movie. He, you know, kind of his mind opens up, and he's like, his doctor. I love the movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Anyways, the doctor like, you've been on lithium, and you can still hear me right now. Like,
yeah.
I think it's a nod to America and how everyone's over medicated as well. You know.
Yeah, it's certainly a deep movie. He's just not that into you.
I'm just not into that movie.
Really? I'm kind of glad this movie was on the list.
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you watched that movie, were you in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. I find that movie very interesting because everybody I've known that has watched that movie, who's in a relationship, not necessarily loved it, but enjoyed it and appreciated it. Everybody I know who's single that watched that movie absolutely hated it because I think it was a little too true to some people's lives. How just the girl just kind of pines after guys, even though he's totally not that interested. Hence the title, obviously. But I don't know. I think that movie was a lot deeper than a lot of people want to give it credit for. I really enjoyed the study in that, and just because it's got that overlapping love stories, and then there's some people cheating and whatnot. I just thought it was a very interesting study, so to speak.
Those movies seem to just get lost in the shuffle for me. Just
Yeah.
Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve and all those other romantic comedies that
it's like every single person in the
Storyline.
cast is like a millionaire, or
Yeah.
like they get $1 million every movie. It's just like, oh gosh.
Well, and it seems like when those movies come out, it seems like when somebody's popular, like 2 years ago, Gerard Butler was in every other movie, or sorry for lack of a better person to talk about, but just when somebody gets popular for one movie, like the spring of movies that came out after Napoleon Dynamite with John Heder, it's just like, really? Benchwarmers?
Red Dragon.
But anyway, the last movie on there I have not seen either is called Up in the Air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is that?
It's a good movie.
Recommend it, yeah. Top 5 relationship movies, though?
That's relationship movies that guys should watch.
I don't know. I don't think of that as a romantic or relationship.
Maybe with connecting with people, but not like a formal
date movie or
dating,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you gotta, if you haven't been in a whole lot of relationships, you have to learn the ins and outs somehow, and I think, there's a certain dynamic in that movie that is just heart-wrenching, that those two people, as much as they get along, they shouldn't be together,
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you say that, because I forgot to write it down, but I wanted to talk just a little about Roll the Clock way back, and maybe you guys haven't seen this, but another really good relationship movie that my mom comes to
Can't
tears.
Buy Me Love?
No, my mom will come to tears just by the mention of the movie, and it's The Way We Were with Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand. It's kind of that same type of thing. It's this couple that really just wants to be together, but they just can't. There's just so many reasons that they shouldn't be together, even though they're perfect for each other. And that's just going to be interesting. Have anybody else seen that?
I'd love to, though.
It's
love
a good,
Redford.
yes, handsome man. A couple other titles that I wrote down. Another Adam Sandler. I didn't know he was such a relationship guru. Spanglish. Has anybody seen that?
Yeah.
It's good.
Punch Drunk Love, though.
I would bring up Punch Drunk Love for romantic movies with Adam Sandler for sure.
Well, I put down Spanglish just because that's kind of a different dynamic. That's more of a couple, 10, 12 years into their marriage. And Téa Leoni is his wife, and she's absolutely barking mad in that movie. And, they hire this very beautiful Spanish au pair or a nanny, whatever you want to call her. And there's, somewhat of a relationship developed between her and Adam Sandler just because they can relate on a few different levels, even though she doesn't speak very good English. And it's kind of an interesting study, too, because... Sorry, interesting study. It's not a good professor. But anyway, it's an interesting movie just because it's that dynamic, because they don't necessarily speak very well, but they can still get along with each other, and you can kind of see, you don't see that in movies a lot, couples that far into their marriage, and see that struggle very often.
Because it's hard to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Funny movie, but I thought it was just a good relationship movie too. The same type of thing, Crazy Stupid Love. It's a couple kind of going their separate ways. Absolutely hilarious movie, by the way. One of the funniest movies of the last couple of years, certainly in my opinion.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling with his shirt off, ladies. But anyway, everybody seen that one here?
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I called it. I knew that it was the daughter right away.
I didn't see that coming. Yeah, when that movie.
Spoiler.
I didn't see that coming, and I didn't like it, but
Same here.
no, it's a funny movie because of Steve Carell, obviously.
Yeah.
But I thought it hit home, you know, a couple times. You know, there's some heavy stuff in that movie, especially when, you know, you find out your wife is with another guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never experienced that, so I can't imagine it. But
yeah, you know, even in all its funniness, I always think watching that movie, being a married person, I can't imagine going through a divorce. You know, I've seen it from, you know, with friends growing up, and I've seen it from the outside so many times. But to be, you know, they certainly show you an inside track on that. You know, they focus a little bit more on him and his life after that. I can't imagine going through something like that. Another dynamic of a relationship movie, Friends with Kids, another recent movie. Has everybody seen that one? That was okay. I certainly enjoyed it. Got a little vulgar towards the end.
And kind of unrealistic. Like, I have to say it was pretty unrealistic
Yeah.
to me. I liked the movie and the entertainment aspect of it.
Yeah.
But the fact that two friends would just do that.
I feel like the movie didn't have to be made.
Yeah.
Like it starts off with like, you know, these issues where like we don't want to give our killers issues, but in the end they get married anyway. Well, they get back together anyways. But it feels like, why did you just waste an hour and a half of my life with
John Hamm is fun.
like a duh moment?
Yeah.
You know, like of course you guys are gonna get together and you'd realize that having two parents in a home is better than two friends raising a kid. But
And John Hamm.
having said that, I actually enjoyed the movie.
I enjoyed the first 45 minutes of it, I think, and then it just
It does feel a little long.
there's a tone switch, and then it just goes.
Even though it's only an hour and a half, it does feel like it's a long movie.
It does.
But I think it's worth watching, even though what I said earlier. But
It's funny.
I kind of like the concept because I'm a little bit of a fan of originality, especially now in movies. So I think that's kind of what kept me, you know, more interested in it. Okay, here's the big one. Love Actually. Have we all seen that? I know I've probably talked about that movie once or twice. One of my wife's favorite movies. Great holiday movie. Great love movie. Certainly great overlapping stories. I'm pretty sure I don't want to give him comeuppance, but I think Andrew Davies had something to do with that. He writes a lot of PBS stuff. If he does not, I'm sorry, but I think he was involved in that movie somewhat. That's kind of why my wife was interested in the first place. But yeah, I mean, you got struggling couples, you got young couples in love, you got the very strange relationship between the body doubles.
Oh yeah.
And
got Puppy Love too.
Puppy Love, yes.
You know, I have a friend who is from London, and he said that movie is the best representation of English life that he's seen. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But I really liked Love Actually.
Yeah,
quite a bit. It has a. It's a very charming movie.
Yeah, and you even have the relationship with, you know, Hugh Grant, Prime Minister, yeah. But that relationship and, you know, his work colleague or whatever you want to call it. But I like that dynamic too, just because it's, you know, kind of person in power trying to make things work with somebody else. You know, I mean, somebody who has a big, powerful job and has a lot of responsibility. But yes, they want to have that relationship in their life too. So, another one, kind of older, even older couple, and I know some people here didn't like this movie, but It's Complicated.
She's better than that.
Yeah. I enjoyed that movie. It was just funny.
Which one is this?
It's Complicated. Meryl Streep.
I have not seen this one, so.
It's a couple. Well, you know, they all have kids in their 20s and they're in college or whatever, and they've been broken up for a good 10 years, and they essentially kind of get back together for a while.
It's not just a clever title.
Or a Facebook status of it.
Yeah. So.
I would like to bring up the relationship dynamic. We watched some special features on Ferris Bueller's Day Off last night, and John Hughes mentions that he loves like the third wheel aspect, and that he always experienced that with he and his wife, and then a friend would always be tagging along. And I didn't, like, you always think of that as kind of an awkward thing, but it's so, like, when you have a best friend, I just find that to be such a special relationship between three people that, you know, you have two people that are committed to each other, and then their friend who, I don't know, the more the merrier, but I thought that was interesting that he likes to incorporate that in his movies.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because there's certainly Cameron and Ferris Bueller's Day Off for a while there.
For Cameron and what's the girlfriend's name?
Sloane.
Cameron and Sloane. There's a weird relationship between those two because.
But it's platonic, you know. Yeah. Like it's like having a sister that you really trust, and that you know it's not. That's just like a better friend, you know.
We talked a little bit about Friends with Kids. That's Adam Scott, who's I'm just very happy to announce that he's going to be in a Party Down movie that's in post-production right now. That's a series that was on Starz, I think, for a while. And now they're making a movie out of it. I'm pretty excited about that. I thought that show was pretty funny. So
post-production already, that's good.
Yeah, that's very good. Anyway, this has been Talking Movies. We were brought to you by Metal Fraker Productions. That's METALFRAKER. Find us on Facebook. Thank you.